Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. My name is Shannon, and this is the personal beauty episode hosted by Koreanet. It's always good to see you guys. I just wanted to say hello and give a huge shout out to all of you guys in the comment section for going ahead and kickstarting this conversation. As you might have seen by the title or by my previous comment, today's episode is going to be a little bit more drama focused. Just kidding. It's going to be about K-dramas. So specifically with K-dramas, and this being a beauty episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about how K-drama does makeup and kind of portrays Korean makeup. Last week, we discussed a lot about K-pop and idols and how they do their makeup in a way that sits really well under heavy stage lighting, heavy performing and sweat and meet and greets and all of that. But today we're going to be talking about how they do makeup here to kind of exaggerate Korean beauty and those special features, as well as we're going to be talking a little bit about how they make it last throughout the day and like a long day of filming and sessions. So if you guys have any questions about that, make sure to drop it in the comment section down below. Before we get started with today's video, I do want to open up the chat for you guys to do a free Q&A. We haven't talked a lot about just any questions that you guys might have for me, as well as what you might be interested in looking forward to for the upcoming shows. So just let me know. We also just got a special delivery, so hopefully we will be able to see that in just a second. If you guys are hearing some rustling, it's actually the rest of the products that we're going to be showing off for you guys today. So without further ado, go ahead and kick it off in the comment section. Let's see. I see Nathan. Hello, Nathan. Hello, Shay. Hello, Magic Hands. the magic K-drama makeup hands. Okay, we'll be getting into this in just a little bit. Hello, Nathan. Hello, Shay. Who else is in here? Typhoon52, hello. If you guys have any questions about K-pop or K-drama makeup, just let me know. Let me know your favorite K-dramas down below, and then we'll go ahead and jump into some of these products. Loving the top, thank you so much. You don't need makeup, great with or without. Thank you guys so much. Are there differences between idols and celebs? Yeah, I would definitely say so. I think more often than not, celebrities are kind of held in more higher esteem, at least within the social sort of context when it comes to Korea. Like being an actor or an actress and being like rewarded for that is kind of highly regarded. Being an idol just means you're extremely talented, and they're also really well regarded worldwide, which I think is pretty cool. As far as the makeup differences, with K-pop idols, there tends to be a little bit more emphasis on the eye area. Specifically speaking, I'm talking about like aegyeosal, like the sparkles and the glitter. There also tends to be a little bit more of a heavy nose contour and more prominent blush. If you guys Google K-drama makeup, or if you go check out one of my favorite K-dramas, which is The Glory, there's a couple of different things that you'll see, which is very, very light blush right underneath the eye areas. But other than that, it's pretty much a very clean base as far as foundation. There's not a heavy contour, there's not heavy blush or highlighter or things like that. I think when it comes to K-drama specifically, they're trying to focus on emphasizing the skin, making it look most natural as possible. But at the same time, if you're a makeup artist on a set for a K-drama, you have to create a look that's going to last really long hours. And unlike K-pop idols, you're not going to be under super harsh lighting all the time. I'm sure it depends on the scene, but you are going to be in different circumstances where the makeup has to look good in all types of lighting. So a little bit of a different application process. There are some things that are really similar, like the emphasis on sort of this, eyeline area, some light eyeliner, maybe that sort of pink pouty lip sort of look. But other than that, I would say the biggest difference comes with the application process. Why do you always look so gorgeous? Must be your healthy, holistic lifestyle. Thank you so much. I'm actually trying to work on that. I've been trying to take better care of my skin. I've been trying to take better care of my hair as well. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know that my hair used to be super white, so I'm trying to get back to my more natural color. Mark, staying up late is my dad. Oh, hi, Dad. My dad's in the comment section. The subtle difference between the front and the back of the camera, please tell me. Oh, I guess being in front of the camera, for me at this point, it feels very natural, but I do enjoy the creativity of being behind the camera as well. Being behind the camera, I think you have a lot of influence on how the audience sees or portrays something. You could have it in a cinematic context. You could have it in more of like a sepia kind of dated, setting, something like that. Or it could also be the editing and the style, but being in front of the camera is definitely where I'm very comfortable. I've been talking to you guys for about 3 years now, working with Koreanet from hide and seek with Kokluni to the show now. So being in front of the camera to me just kind of feels like talking to a friend. There are a little bit of pressures with it though. When I'm doing certain situations where I have to act, for example, it's a lot more difficult for me because everything that I've done is like live show format. So for me, memorizing a script and trying to portray a character that I'm not has proven to be a little bit challenging, but I'm hoping to get better at that in the future. So thank you so much for the question. Can it be this luxurious just without makeup? Well, that's kind of the point. We're going to be trying to focus on how to make makeup look not like makeup, I guess. Got up early. When it comes to the actress makeup, the details are the most important. Yes, that's exactly right. So now that we have our special delivery that you guys saw enter the chat today, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about a couple different tips and tricks that you guys can use. So I guess we'll start off on this side. Let's see what we have here. Oh, I love these. This is a milky tint. This particular one is called Vanilla Bean Cream. Sounds delicious. I'm definitely going to get some ice cream later. But these are lip tints, actually. So the reason that I think lip tints would be specifically helpful with things like K-dramas, for example, is these are not just like a lipstick. There tends to be very little transfer. By transfer, I mean if you are to put your lips on something like kiss a glass or, you know, have like a glass of wine or something, it's actually not going to transfer as well. Hello? Oh, I thought it was like you just pull, but you have to twist it. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is what the lip tint color looks like. It looks a little bit more peachy, almost like an orange sort of shade. So let's just take a look here. Ooh, I quite like that formula. That's actually lovely. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. That's really pretty. So again, the reason I like lip tints better than just a typical lipstick, lip liner, lip gloss, they tend to be less transferring. And even with certain lip tints, you can actually just do like an outline, let it dry for about 10 minutes and then wipe it off and the color will remain all day. So this would definitely be a good thing to have whether you're a K-pop idol or a K-drama star, because this is going to be something that lasts long term, kind of like long time period. All right, let me just pick up this mirror. Let's just try this. Oh, I love that. I know why it's called vanilla, guys. It tastes exactly like vanilla ice cream. I wish you guys could taste this. Here, taste it. It's so nice. It's really nice. See, this actually matches my natural lip color really well. Ooh, okay. I just noticed something, so I want to point this out to you guys. So on my hand, I did put like a pretty decent like slather of lip tint, but on my actual lips, it dried right away. Like it dried down really quick. So let's do the kiss test. Little bit, very small amount of transfer though. Mostly on the inner corner where it's really, really wet. But for the most part, like there's like no transfer. It looks really good. So having these tints is definitely going to be helpful long term because this is going to help you to maintain that sort of natural lip color without being too sheer, too shiny. I think in the case of makeup, that's going to be a really good thing. And especially for Korean drama makeup, they want things to look as natural as possible. So having a light tint along with a nice base foundation is going to be a really important staple to have when it comes to K-drama. All right, let's look out. The mood changes completely with just one lip color. The expression of my skin is crazy. Good close-up, Koreanet. Thanks, Dad. We actually have an extra camera in here today, so let us know what you guys think about the close-up view. I hope Korea didn't get affected by the tsunami. Oh, Korea, to my knowledge, didn't get too much of the tsunami that I think was recently affecting Hawaii, possibly places in Japan and in California as well. But there was a rise in sea level. I'm not really sure. I haven't heard much about it. Usually when there's that sort of thing, we'll get little warnings and stuff, but in Seoul, we're actually pretty far inland. We're also a little bit further north. Busan would have been the place to maybe check that out. Are all actors this pretty in person? I would say the ones that I've met look pretty similar. That's kind of this phenomenon when it comes to K-pop and K-drama idols and actresses, for example. They look incredible. They look even better in person than they look on camera, which I don't even know how that's possible. But of the people that I have met, yes, they look exactly the same. So it's not a total lie to you guys. Of course, they do have influence with makeup and stuff like that and special effects, but yeah, they do an amazing job. This eyebrow shape is so sophisticated. Thank you. I went with a straighter brow look today because I didn't want to look like dubious. You know what I mean? Is there a tip for the location of the blush? Yes. Okay, so Marco just asked if there's any tips for the location of blusher on the skin. The location of your blush will completely change your look. So I think today what I did was I took some tips from the K-pop makeup video last week. I put a little bit on the center of my nose right here to give me a little bit of a button nose, but I also put it a little bit closer to my eye, kind of on the apple of my cheek. My purpose for the blush today was to actually bring attention to the center of my face to make my face look a little bit smaller. If you're going for a more sort of like sharp look or something to exaggerate the cheeks a little bit more, or to make your face look a little bit more, wide and kind of angular, you would put your blush here, kind of on the high points of your face. And then on the nose, you would avoid that area a little bit more. So blush placement is super, super important. One thing that I've noticed with K-drama especially, they actually put a little bit of blush right around the eyes here. An interesting technique that I will definitely look forward to trying. Love that gloss. Let's see, this is a skincare master. Thank you. I've been working on my skincare, you guys. I got a couple new products and I'd be happy to share this with you if you're interested. I'm watching while taking notes today as well. Thank you, Gisela. It's always nice to see that these videos are properly helpful for people. One person who failed to copy actress makeup. Yes, I haven't tried, really. Maybe I'll try the actress makeup next week for that video. Shannon, famous from Ramen and Chill spinoff and host of Boot Camp. Thank you, Nathan. Those are two other projects that I've been a part of if you guys want to go check those out on YouTube. Is it okay to do this makeup daily? Yes, actually. So today I would say I'm wearing a little bit less makeup than I typically would wear on set. And I think that's what's giving me this sort of glowy appearance. And basically the rule for that is that I used concealer first, waited about a minute or two, only blended the concealer where I had spots, and then from there did the foundation. So it looked a little bit more natural today, a little bit more skin-like and lighter. All right, let's keep it moving. So we've already gotten into the lip tint here, which I love and will definitely be taking from set today. Let's see, this is Hyper Fit Color Serum. I think, based on the sound of it, this is gonna be a liquid blush. Which is really one of my favorite products. This is actually what I'm wearing today. The benefit of a liquid blush, I don't know if you guys can see if you look really, really close here. Liquid blush actually blends a lot more like foundation. It looks a little bit more creamy. There's no sort of like powdery residue. So if you guys don't already have a liquid blush, definitely invest in one. They last a little bit longer. They're a lot easier to blend into place. So definitely check that out. So I don't have this particular color. This is a romantic coral color. If you're in Korea in the summertime, this sort of peachy shade is what you're going to get quite a lot, whether that's for blush or for lip tint. So let's just go ahead and give that a go. So it came out really runny. The formulas for liquid blush are usually pretty thin. You can see right away like how quickly that blends. Oh, this is lovely. This is awfully pretty. So I'm just going to blend it lightly. Usually if it was on my face, I would blend it out a little bit more than this, but so you guys can see the tint. There it is, a little bit, if you guys can see that. So liquid blush is extremely thin. It's very light. It actually feels a lot lighter than a powder without sort of like mattifying the skin texture as well, which I really like. This will leave your skin kind of glowy. Oh, there's a little bit of a shimmer in there. I thought I was losing my mind for a second, but there's a little bit of a shine. So if you guys do want a little bit of a highlight situation, that'll work for you as well. So like I said, these are really great. These can be used for more than just blusher. You can actually use these on the eyes. One thing that I do with my liquid blush is I actually blend it around my eye area to give it a little bit more of a sort of cohesive look. Then I usually apply eyeshadow over top. I did actually apply my eyeshadow today in the style of K-drama. I did that purposely because I know we don't have any brushes or eyeshadows here. But just to give you guys a little road map, little tour here. I actually put a little bit of a beige sort of base on first to make my skin look a little bit more neutral. Then from there, I just took a very light dark brown. How do I say this? I took a small amount of dark brown and then I blended it out really well in a V shape. So right here into the crease of the eye and then right along the lash line. So this deepened my sort of eye shape just enough to give it a little bit more of a pop. But as you can see, it's not super dark. So that is definitely a tip that you can take from K-drama style makeup. Their eyes are a little bit more defined, but not in a way that looks heavy. So definitely test that out if you haven't already. Let's see. This kind of skin glow is different from skincare, right? Yes. So today's episode particularly is about makeup. If you do want a little bit more information on some of the skincare, feel free to check out some of the previous episodes. I do get into that a little bit more. Is the T-zone highlighter the key to actress makeup? I would say with highlighter, Koreans use it a little bit more sparingly, but this is actually to sort of enhance Korean features. So I've gone over this topic before, but with Western features, they tend to be a little bit more sharp and a little bit more defined. So for example, my nose already looks a little bit more sharp. I don't really need to contour it. But for somebody with a little bit of a softer nose shape, they might want to contour these sides a little bit more, the tip a little bit more, and so on. So I will say one thing I notice a lot with Koreans is that they tend to focus on the center of the face. So contour is something you'll see here. In the West, you'll tend to see contour a lot more on the cheekbones and the jawline. So just something that I've picked up. I would say as far as the K-drama style makeup today, we're not going to be focusing too much on contour. Let's see. This blush shade is so romantic. Would you try it? Yes, I would definitely love to try it. The base is thin, but it lasts long. Do you prefer liquid blush or powder? Definitely liquid. I don't think I even own a powder brush anymore. Powder blush, sorry. That's so hard to say, powder blush. This is the Screen Beauty itself. Thank you so much. So let's just keep it moving. I think that was Carrie. Carrie, I don't know if I've seen your name before in the chat. Welcome to the chat. Flu Game Kel, is that right? Flu Game Kel. I'm curious about the brands that actresses actually use. I know a couple of them. I think one of them, I can't remember what it is. I want to say it's called Studio Tattoo. You guys will have to maybe quote me on that, but definitely check it out on Olive Young because I have used that one on set before. So I do know that they use that one on set a lot. It's more of like a color correcting base and kind of a heavy, like physical solid concealer. This, on the other hand, is actually a liquid concealer. So this is the type that you'll typically see. This particular color is a little dark for me, so I'm not going to be applying this one on my skin today. But I will show you guys right here. Okay. So like I mentioned before, concealer is something that you want to be a shade or two lighter than your actual foundation shade. This is something that has a little bit of a banana kind of yellow tint to it. So for me, I wouldn't typically gravitate towards this one because this might actually oxidize on my skin. For those of you guys that don't know, products like this, whether it's concealer or foundation, there is this tendency to oxidize with certain products, and that means that it's going to change tone over time. In this case, if this one oxidizes, it'll become a little bit more of an orange, which won't sit well with my undertone. So this isn't one that I would particularly go for color-wise, but I would say based on the texture, it looks really thick. Which for concealer is a compliment. That's actually a good thing. It looks like it blends pretty well. I'm going to let it dry down a little bit and then we'll try to blend it out and see what happens. Concealer is super important, you guys. I would definitely say that Koreans focus more on concealer use rather than foundation. I actually do have a foundation here that I will be showing you guys. But what I mean by that is Koreans use concealer as like a reverse contour mechanism. They kind of focus on spots rather than doing like a full face. So one thing that you won't see on any set for K-drama is them shaping out the concealer really wide underneath the eyes, for example, which is something that you'll see a lot with Western makeup trends. But in Korea, they'll just do little tiny dots just to kind of spot treat and brighten up the face. Then they'll go over it and blend it out with a light foundation, which is really nice. Are some products better dealing with humidity? Definitely. I would say that the lighter you can get away with it, the better. Liquid blush would be a little bit better. Any sort of concealers that aren't going to crease or dry down really thick would be better. And then I prefer the cushion foundation, which is kind of a staple in Korea. I think it was Amore Pacific that started it in about 2009, something like that. But those cushion foundations have become iconic, and there's a reason. It's because they're a little bit lighter and more skin texture-like. I really like the camera work today. Nice close-ups. Great job, team. You're getting a lot of comments in the chat. The subtle highlighter combination is crazy. Yes. Okay, so let's check out this one. Water Veil Primer. Okay. I'm going to get to this one last. I want to do this one last because I can already tell this is going to be my favorite. Let's go ahead and move on to this one. So I will be totally straight up with you guys. I did actually try this one a little bit earlier. The reason is because I wanted to make sure it matched my skin tone. So I'm running out of space on this hand here. I'm going to show you guys over here. I love this packaging, first of all. It's very cute, very compact. Oh, that's a lot. Oh no. I don't think I'm going to be able to blend all this out. Okay, so don't use this much for the back of your hand. I'm just going to use the inside of the box. Can I do that? Yeah, I'm going to do that. I don't have a tissue. Sorry, guys. Yikes. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good shade match for me. On the face, not on the back of the hand, because my face is a little bit more pale. Texture-wise, it's really thin and creamy. And it smells like sunscreen. Is there SPF in this? I feel like there probably is. Let's see. Yes, SPF 30. Nice. Nice job, Korea, with the sunscreen inside the makeup. This is also a hydrating product as well. So, okay, full transparency, I've now put on way too much. So I don't think this is going to be the most accurate sort of description of what this was going to look like on the skin. Very, very pale tone. You can see, but this is something that I would use really thinly on the skin, not nearly as thick as I've done it on myself now. But based on the texture, this is going to be kind of a watery, liquidy base, which I really, really like for the summer. I think it was my dad who asked about that, Mark. Yes, so Mark asked a little bit about if there's better products for the summertime. I would definitely say thinner, more watery, kind of lightweight versus heavy, oily based. So something like this would be great. It is drying down pretty well. We'll kind of see how that plays out in just a second. Let's see. Shading position that makes your face look small. Yes, Erica, that is always the game. After this video, I'm going to go into my grocery bag. Definitely do it. Please tell me how to blend eyeshadow. Okay, I love this question. This isn't actually something that we have a product here for today, but I'll try and get into that really quickly. To blend eyeshadow, it's always best to do little tiny circles. So I don't know if you guys ever watched like a Bob Ross tutorial or something, but your face is kind of a canvas and you want to blend really naturally. The only thing that you want to avoid for sure when you're doing eyeshadow or any sort of blending is harsh lines. So the best way to blend is to actually just kind of trust the brush. Don't actually focus too much on using your hands and, you know, really pressing too hard, because this ends up moving the product, which you don't want to do. You want to kind of disperse and fade the product a little bit. So go in little circular motions. For me, on this side, I think I always go towards the outside in like a clockwise sort of motion. And then on this side, the same thing. But I always blend from here out. This helps to give that sort of shadow along the brow line without making it look too harsh. What part do you actresses care about the most? Definitely the eyes, I would say. I think the eyes are kind of a focal point in Korean beauty for sure. I think this will be good for wedding guest makeup. Oh, very cool. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but I will be getting married this time next year. So it's really nice to see a little bit of interest in kind of the wedding guest makeup, wedding or bridal makeup. We can maybe do a future video about that if you guys are interested. I heard that lip base is really important, definitely. Please tell me how to make my makeup last longer. I'm so glad you asked, because that's why we have this. So I think I talked to you guys a little bit about this in the past. There's certain things, there's a priming spray, there's a setting spray, there's a refreshing spray. This one has the cutest packaging. I love that. It's a nice, very thin, liquidy foundation kind of base thing. This is a primer. So this particular primer, as you can see, is structured a little bit more like an ampule. I'm running out of space. I guess I could put a little bit right here. Let's just see. Okay, just one little drop. So this is a primer. You guys can see it's very thin and very light. The purpose of this one is actually to act like a sort of sticky tape for your face. So you would put this on as a makeup product before you put on makeup. The one that I have, I think this is something I've told you guys in the past, it's always been my favorite. It's this sort of green tinted one because it does cancel out the reds in my skin. This one would be a lot better for summertime because it is very thin and watery and absorbs really quickly. And it has a slight, very, very slight tackiness to it, but it's not sticky. Like, it doesn't feel heavy at all. So I like this one a little bit better formula-wise as opposed to a typical sort of cream base. This one is very thin, very lightweight, and I will definitely be asking if I can keep this one as well. So that is one tip to keep your makeup lasting a lot longer, especially in a very humid, hot summer climate, especially like it is in Korea. Primers are super important. Skincare is super important to help make sure that your makeup doesn't separate. And then using a setting spray. Remember, setting spray actually has an alcohol base. This helps to dry down and tighten the makeup. And then I would say based on that, nothing super oily or heavy. I think that would be the best bet. The color tones on the eyelids are so luxurious. Thank you so much. I wanted to give you guys one little more show about this one. Actress makeup is really optimized for lighting. Yes. So I think that pretty much covers the makeup tips that I have for you guys today. I'm going to do one more quick Q&A with you guys. If you guys have a favorite drama, drop it down below. If you guys are tuning in for the first time and you are from a unique country, drop it down below as well. We'd love to hear from you guys and get your feedback as well. So Nathan said, so you're engaged only. Is there many differences between Western and Korean weddings? Yes, there is so many differences between Western and Korean weddings. I can't even begin to get into it for this episode, but definitely there's a lot. So planning a Western style wedding in Korea has already proven to be quite the challenge, but hopefully we'll get it figured out because we're working ahead of time, so we're good. Let's see. Male actors are good at makeup these days. If I follow my makeup today, I'll be successful on a blind date. Ooh, good luck on your blind date. Hopefully that goes well for you. I think that's all the time that we have today, you guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Shannon Harper. Definitely drop any questions down in the comment section down below. As always, you guys, thank you so much for supporting me, for supporting the Koreanet channel, and for giving shout outs to the crew who are working really hard to improve filming every time. But we love you guys so much. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys next week. Bye.